Have you ever wondered if there's a simple, yet powerful way to not only improve your health, but also deepen the connection with your partner? In this video, we're sharing a beautiful, heartwarming story of Anna, a young woman who learned a life-changing lesson from her wise grandmother about the importance of Kegel exercises. But it's not just about the physical benefits. It's about how something so simple can transform intimacy, trust, and communication in a relationship. Stay with us until the end as we dive into how these exercises can prevent health issues, improve confidence, and create a unique bond with your partner that goes beyond words. You will hear how Anna's relationship with her husband, Carlos, changed forever and how this wisdom, passed down from generation to generation, can become a treasure in your life too. Don't miss out on learning the secret that can enhance your relationship and personal well-being in ways you never expected. If you are not subscribed, I recommend subscribing and activating the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support means a lot to me. And if you enjoyed this video, you can help me continue spreading the valuable lessons by liking and sharing it. Anna, newly married and still basking in the warmth of love's first bloom, had always admired the quiet wisdom her grandmother, Dona Elvira, carried with her. One evening, as Anna sat across from her grandmother, a soft blush crept into her cheeks. She had been thinking about something for days, and now, gathering her courage, she finally decided to ask. With a hint of shyness, Anna looked down at her hands before speaking, her voice barely above a whisper. "Grandmother, I've been hearing about these exercises. Kegel exercises, they call them. They're supposed to strengthen certain muscles, the ones involved in intimacy. I thought, who better to ask than you?" Dona Elvira, who had lived a life rich in love, understanding, and gentle wisdom, smiled knowingly. Her eyes twinkled with a blend of affection and nostalgia. She reached over, gently placing her hand on Anna's, her touch warm and reassuring. "Ah, Querida," she said softly, "you've come to the right place." Anna felt the tension ease as her grandmother's kind smile enveloped her like a comforting embrace. Dona Elvira continued, her voice tender and filled with understanding. "Yes, my dear, Kegel exercises are incredibly important. They aren't just for your health. They can be a way to nurture the bond you share with your husband, that precious connection you both hold close. You see, love and intimacy are not just about the heart. They're about the body, too. And taking care of both is essential for a fulfilling marriage." Anna leaned forward, her curiosity now fully piqued, eager to absorb her grandmother's wisdom. Something was calming, almost sacred, about this moment, this passing of knowledge from one generation to the next. "When I was your age," Dona Elvira continued, her voice carrying the weight of decades of lived experience, "these things were not openly discussed, but I always knew in my heart that taking care of our bodies was important. Kegel exercises, my dear, strengthen the pelvic floor muscles. These muscles are often forgotten, but they hold a quiet power, one that can prevent health issues down the road, like discomfort, incontinence, and even complications after childbirth." She paused, her eyes searching Anna's, making sure her granddaughter understood the significance. "But more than that," she added softly, "these exercises help to enhance the intimate experiences you share with your husband. They allow you to be in tune with your body, to feel more deeply, more intensely." Anna felt a warmth spread through her chest, not just from the knowledge her grandmother shared, but from the deep emotional connection this conversation had created between them. It wasn't just about exercise anymore. It was about legacy, love, and the unspoken wisdom passed from one woman to another. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. "You'll see," Dona Elvira whispered, her eyes misting slightly with emotion. "Intimacy in a marriage is like a dance, and these exercises, they help you move gracefully through it. Your body is a beautiful part of that dance, and you deserve to feel confident, strong, and connected." Anna, now filled with a deep sense of empowerment and gratitude, nodded slowly. She understood now, more than ever, that love wasn't just a fleeting feeling. It was a lifelong journey, one that she was just beginning to explore, hand in hand with her husband and with the guiding wisdom of the women who came before her. Dona Elvira lifted her teacup to her lips, savoring the warmth of the tea as she gazed at Anna with a soft, thoughtful expression. Her eyes, brimming with decades of experience and quiet wisdom, seemed to reflect a lifetime of love, lessons, and memories. She set the cup down gently, the delicate clink resonating in the air like a peaceful reminder of the serenity of their moment together. Anna, sitting across from her, felt a sense of anticipation mixed with a touch of nervousness. She had never spoken about such intimate topics with anyone, let alone her grandmother. But she had always admired Dona Elvira's wisdom, her ability to navigate life with grace and poise. There was something so comforting, so timeless about the way her grandmother approached life's most delicate subjects. And in this moment, Anna was both eager and a little shy to hear what she had to say. "You know, my dear," Dona Elvira began, her voice soft but filled with warmth, "an intimate relationship, a truly deep and meaningful one, is about much more than physical closeness. It's a bond that transcends touch, a connection that weaves itself into the very fabric of your soul. It's a kind of intimacy that words can't fully capture." She paused, allowing her words to sink in, her gaze tender as she studied Anna's reaction. Anna leaned in slightly, her heart fluttering with curiosity. She could feel the depth in her grandmother's words, the kind of depth that only comes from years of experience, from having lived through both the joys and trials of a long, loving marriage. There was a certain magic in the way Dona Elvira spoke, as if she were passing down a precious secret, one that had been carefully guarded for years. "You see, love," Dona Elvira continued, her voice softening even more, "learning to control those muscles, the ones you mentioned, Kegel exercises they call them now. It's about more than just the physical benefits. It's about embracing your body and feeling confident in your skin. And when you have that confidence, it radiates in everything you do, especially in your relationship with your husband. That confidence is a gift, not just to yourself, but to your partner as well. It creates a deeper connection, one that can be felt even in the smallest, quietest moments. It becomes like a silent language between the two of you, something only you share, something that strengthens the bond you have." Anna's heart swelled with emotion as she listened, her grandmother's words stirring something deep within her. She had always believed that love and intimacy were important, but hearing her grandmother speak with such openness and vulnerability made her realize that there was so much more to it. Intimacy wasn't just a fleeting moment or a physical act. It was a language, a bond, a dance shared between two souls. Dona Elvira smiled softly, as if she could sense Anna's thoughts. She reached out and gently took Anna's hand, her touch warm and reassuring. "When I was your age," she said, her eyes drifting slightly as if recalling a distant memory, "we didn't talk about these things. Intimacy, our bodies, our desires. It was all shrouded in silence. But even then, I knew how important it was to take care of myself, to nurture that part of my life. Your grandfather and I had a very open relationship. We talked about everything, our hopes, our dreams, our fears, and yes, even our intimacy. It wasn't taboo for us. We saw it as an important part of our marriage, something that needed care and attention just like any other aspect of our relationship." Anna was taken aback. She had always thought of her grandparents' relationship as loving and supportive, but she had never imagined them discussing intimacy so openly. There was something beautiful and inspiring about it, something that made her feel hopeful about her future with her husband. "He used to say to me," Dona Elvira continued, her smile deepening with affection, "Elvira, love is a garden, and intimacy is the water that keeps it blooming." He believed that without trust, openness, and communication, a relationship could wither like an untended flower. And you know what? He was right. Our love grew deeper because we shared everything, even our most intimate selves. Kegel exercises were just one of the ways I showed him that I cared, that I was invested in keeping our connection alive. Anna's breath caught in her throat, the weight of her grandmother's words settling into her chest. It was as if she had been given a key to a door she hadn't even known existed, a door that led to a deeper understanding of love, intimacy, and marriage. Dona Elvira chuckled softly, breaking the emotional intensity for a moment. "And let's not forget," she said with a playful glint in her eye, "these exercises are also wonderful for your health. They help prevent issues like incontinence, which may seem far off now. But believe me, it's much easier to address them early. And if you decide to have children one day, you'll be grateful you started doing them. They'll make childbirth easier and you'll recover more quickly." Anna smiled, feeling a sense of relief and joy wash over her. Her grandmother had always been practical, blending wisdom with humor, and this moment was no different. But underneath the playful tone, Anna could feel the deeper message. Taking care of her body wasn't just for her health, but for her future, her happiness, and her relationship. "Grandmother," Anna said, her voice soft, "thank you for sharing this with me. I never expected to have this kind of conversation, but I'm so grateful. You've given me so much to think about." Dona Elvira smiled, her eyes crinkling at the corners as she gently patted Anna's hand. "You're welcome, my dear. Remember, love and intimacy are lifelong journeys. You and your husband will grow together in ways you can't even imagine yet. But always nurture that connection. And don't be afraid to talk about these things. Love flourishes when we tend to it openly and without fear." Anna nodded, feeling the truth of her grandmother's words resonates deep within her. This conversation had opened her eyes to a new way of thinking about love, about marriage, and herself. She felt more confident, more connected to the wisdom of the women who had come before her, and more prepared to embrace the beautiful, complex journey that lay ahead. As they sat in peaceful silence, the gentle clatter of the teacup seemed to symbolize the end of one chapter and the beginning of another. Anna knew that the wisdom shared today would stay with her, guiding her through the delicate dance of love and intimacy, helping her to strengthen not just her body, but the unbreakable bond between her and her husband. Anna smiled warmly, feeling immensely grateful for having such a wise and open-hearted grandmother who had always been there to guide her through life's many intricacies. "Thank you, grandmother," Anna said softly, her voice laced with sincerity. "It means so much to me to know that these exercises are not just for health, but that they can also help deepen the bond one shares with Carlos. I never realized how connected the two could be." Dona Elvira's face softened even more as she gave Anna's hand a gentle, reassuring squeeze, her touch filled with all the love and wisdom of a lifetime spent in devotion to those she held dear. "Ah, mi Nina," she said with a tender smile. "Always remember this. Intimacy is a sacred part of a healthy relationship. It's about more than just the physical. It's about sharing yourself completely with your partner, mind, body, and soul. Never be afraid to talk openly with your husband, to explore and experiment together, and most importantly, to take care of yourself. Your body is a gift, and nurturing it will always reflect in the love you share. These little things, communication, care, and attention, are the true secrets to living a full, happy life, full of love that grows deeper with time." Anna felt a swell of emotion rise in her chest as she listened to her grandmother's final words on the subject. There was such clarity in them, such simple but profound truth. She knew that this moment, this intimate conversation between the two of them, was one she would treasure forever. Her grandmother wasn't just passing on advice about exercises. She was giving her the keys to a loving and lasting marriage, a wisdom that had been honed and nurtured through years of experience. As the sun set outside, casting a warm golden glow over the room, Anna realized just how fortunate she was to have a role model like Dona Elvira in her life. It wasn't every day that one received such deeply personal, heartfelt guidance from someone who had lived through both the joys and the trials of a long marriage. Anna knew that this wisdom would shape the way she approached her relationship, not just in the present, but for years to come. As the weeks turned into months, Anna began to reflect more deeply on her grandmother's words. Inspired by the conversation, she made a conscious decision to integrate Kegel exercises into her daily routine. At first, it was simply a way to honor her grandmother's advice. But over time, Anna began to feel the changes within herself. Her body felt stronger, more in tune with itself, and with that physical strength came a newfound confidence. But it wasn't just her physical health that improved. There was something deeper, something intangible that had shifted. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment too below to let me know that you are still here with me. Anna began to notice subtle changes in her relationship with Carlos as well. Their bond, which had always been strong, seemed to deepen in ways she hadn't anticipated. They communicated more openly about their needs, their desires, and their emotions. Conversations that once felt uncomfortable now flowed with ease, and their intimacy took on a new level of connection and tenderness. It was as though the simple act of caring for her own body had created a ripple effect, enriching every aspect of their relationship. Carlos, ever attentive and loving, noticed the change in Anna. "You seem different lately," he said one evening as they sat together on the couch, his arm wrapped gently around her shoulders. "Happier, more confident. It's like you're glowing." Anna smiled, her heart swelling with love for her husband. She thought back to her grandmother's words, to the quiet wisdom she had shared all those months ago. "I've just been taking better care of myself," she replied softly, "and it's made me realize how important it is to nurture not just our relationship but myself as well." Carlos kissed the top of her head, pulling her closer. "Whatever you're doing, it's working. I feel like we're even closer now, like we understand each other in a way we didn't before." Anna's heart filled with warmth. She knew that this deepened connection wasn't just a result of the exercises themselves. It was a result of the lessons her grandmother had passed down to her, the lessons about love, respect, and communication. She had learned that intimacy wasn't just about physical closeness. It was about emotional and spiritual connection, about being fully present with the one you love and nurturing that bond in every way possible. As the months passed, Anna continued to make her well-being a priority, not just for herself but for the health of her marriage. And every time she practiced her exercises, she thought of Dona Elvira, of the love and wisdom she had so generously shared. It was a quiet act of gratitude, a way to honor the legacy of the women who had come before her. Years later, as Anna stood at the side of her grandmother's bed during her final days, she held her hand, just as Dona Elvira had done so many times before. "Thank you, grandmother," Anna whispered, her voice filled with emotion, "for everything, for your wisdom, your love, and for teaching me how to care for myself and my marriage. I'll never forget what you've given me." Dona Elvira smiled weakly, her eyes still full of the same tenderness and wisdom they had always held. "You're welcome, mi amor," she whispered back. "Just remember, love is a gift, and intimacy is its most sacred expression. Keep nurturing it, and you will always have a full heart." Anna left that room with tears in her eyes, but also with a heart full of peace. She knew that she would carry her grandmother's lessons with her for the rest of her life. Lessons about love, intimacy, and the power of caring for both yourself and your relationship. And in the years to come, as Anna grew older and her marriage flourished, she would often think back to that day when her grandmother, with the simple act of sharing a cup of tea and a lifetime of wisdom, had given her the keys to a lifetime of love. Anna smiled softly, her cheeks warming with a hint of shyness, as she decided to open up to Carlos about the conversations she'd been having with her grandmother, particularly about the Kegel exercises she had been practicing. The vulnerability of sharing something so personal made her heart flutter, but she trusted Carlos deeply. With her voice gentle yet earnest, she told him about the wisdom Dona Elvira had passed down to her and how these simple exercises had become a meaningful part of her life. Carlos, ever attentive and thoughtful, listened intently. His eyes remained on her, filled with warmth and respect as he absorbed every word. He reached for her hand, squeezing it gently as she finished speaking. "I'm really glad you feel more connected with your body," he said, his voice low and tender. "I love that you're sharing this with me. It's amazing how something so simple can have such a profound and positive impact on both your health and our relationship. Anna felt a wave of relief wash over her. She had been a little nervous about bringing up the topic, unsure of how he might react. But seeing the genuine interest and respect in his eyes reassured her that they had reached a new level of openness and trust. She realized that this was exactly what her grandmother had meant when she said that intimacy wasn't just about the physical, but about communication, care, and mutual understanding. From that moment, their relationship deepened in ways that Anna hadn't expected. The act of discussing such personal things fostered a sense of trust between them that grew stronger with every conversation. They began talking more openly about their desires, their needs, and the small, everyday things that strengthened their bond. What once might have been awkward or difficult to express now flowed freely, as they discovered new ways to enjoy and enrich their intimacy. It was as though the simple act of communication had unlocked the door to even greater closeness and joy. For Anna, the Kegel exercises became more than just a physical practice. They became a symbol of the love and care she had for herself and her marriage. It was a small, personal ritual she embraced regularly, a reminder of her grandmother's wisdom and the lessons passed down through the generations. Each time she practiced, she felt a renewed sense of strength and connection to her own body, a connection that, in turn, allowed her to be even more present and attuned to Carlos. As time went on, Anna felt a profound sense of gratitude, not only for the positive changes in her health, but for the transformation in her relationship with her husband. She often thought of her grandmother's words, how they had planted the seeds for this new chapter of her life, one filled with openness, communication, and a deeper understanding of love. One crisp morning, Anna found herself sitting at her grandmother's kitchen table once again. The familiar warmth of the room, with its comforting smells of freshly brewed coffee and the soft hum of life around them, felt like a sanctuary. As she stirred her coffee, Anna decided it was time to share with Dona Elvira how much things had changed since that fateful conversation. "Grandmother," Anna began, her voice filled with emotion, "I wanted to tell you something. Since the day you spoke to me about Kegel exercises and intimacy, my life has changed in ways I never expected." She paused, watching her grandmother's eyes light up with curiosity. "Not only have I seen improvements in my physical health, but Carlos and I have grown even closer. We've started talking more openly about everything. Our needs, our feelings, our desires. It's like we've discovered a new level of connection, and it's all thanks to you." Dona Elvira's face softened into a proud smile, her eyes twinkling with a mixture of pride and affection. "Ah, mi querida," she said, reaching out to place a hand over Anna's. "I'm so happy to hear that. You see, these things are about more than just the physical. They are about nurturing your relationship, about creating a space where both you and Carlos can feel loved, seen, and understood. I always knew that you would find your way to that kind of connection, one that grows deeper with time." Anna's heart swelled with gratitude as she realized how fortunate she was to have such a wise and open grandmother. She knew that this conversation, much like the one they had months ago, would stay with her forever, a guiding light as she navigated her life and marriage. Dona Elvira, ever the practical and loving matriarch, took a sip of her coffee before offering one last piece of advice. "Remember, Anna," she said gently, "love and intimacy are like a garden. They need care, patience, and attention. Keep tending to them, and they will continue to blossom, just as you and Carlos have. And don't forget to take care of yourself, too. A strong and confident woman is the foundation of a strong and loving relationship." Anna smiled, her heart filled with warmth. She knew that her grandmother was right. The lessons she had learned were not just about exercises or physical health. They were about communication, love, and the delicate dance of intimacy. With her grandmother's wisdom guiding her, Anna felt confident that she and Carlos would continue to grow together, their bond strengthened by the openness and care they now shared. As she left her grandmother's house that day, Anna felt a sense of peace and joy. She knew that she had been given a gift far greater than she had anticipated, a gift of love, connection, and understanding that she would carry with her throughout her life. And she promised herself that she would honor that gift every day, both in her relationship with Carlos and in the way she cared for herself. Dona Elvira listened with a satisfied smile, her heart swelling with pride as she watched Ana reflect on their conversation. "I'm so happy to hear that, dear," she said, her voice warm with approval. "It's truly wonderful how something so simple can not only strengthen your relationship, but also increase your confidence in yourself. Sometimes, it's the smallest actions that have the greatest impact on our lives." Ana sat in silence for a few moments, her thoughts swirling as she took in the depth of her grandmother's wisdom. She had always admired Dona Elvira for her quiet strength and the way she approached life with such grace. Now, sitting here, she realized just how much her grandmother had truly lived and how much there was still to learn from her. "Grandmother," Ana began softly, her voice filled with gratitude, "you've taught me something so valuable. I now understand that intimacy and love aren't things we should take for granted. They're like fragile plants we must cultivate with care and respect. Thank you for sharing your experiences with me." Dona Elvira's eyes sparkled as she gently caressed Ana's hand, her touch filled with love and tenderness. "You're welcome, mi amor," she said, her tone soft but filled with conviction. "Remember, intimacy is a journey, a shared journey that you and Carlos will continue to walk together. And like any journey, there will always be new things to discover and new ways to grow together. The key is to remain open, to be willing to learn from each other, and to nurture the connection you have with patience and love." Ana smiled, her heart full. She felt a profound sense of peace and understanding settle over her, knowing that her grandmother's words would stay with her forever. They weren't just practical tips about exercises. They were about life, love, and the delicate balance of maintaining a relationship over time. These moments of quiet wisdom with her grandmother were becoming treasures she would carry with her always. That afternoon, Ana and Dona Elvira continued their conversation, the hours passing by as they shared stories, memories, and laughter. There was an ease between them, a bond that seemed to grow stronger with every passing moment. Ana cherished these times with her grandmother, knowing how precious they were. Each story, each laugh, each piece of advice was another stitch in the beautiful tapestry of her life, and she knew she would look back on these moments with gratitude and fondness. As the days turned into weeks, Ana couldn't shake the feeling that she had been given a gift too valuable to keep to herself. She began to wonder if her friends, too, might benefit from the wisdom her grandmother had shared with her. One day, while having coffee with a close group of friends, Ana decided to open up. With tact and delicacy, she brought up the topic of Kegel exercises, explaining how they had not only improved her physical health, but had also brought her and Carlos closer together. She was careful and sensitive to how such a personal topic might be received, but she also knew the value of sharing openly and without shame. At first, her friends were hesitant, shy smiles spreading across their faces as they exchanged glances. Talking about such intimate matters wasn't something they were used to, but Ana's honesty and openness had a way of making them feel comfortable, and soon, the conversation took a turn. One by one, her friends began to share their own experiences and concerns about their bodies, their relationships, and the struggles they faced in maintaining intimacy with their partners. What had started as a hesitant conversation turned into something much deeper, a shared moment of vulnerability and connection among women who cared for each other. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Ana felt a surge of warmth as she realized that, in a way, she was passing on her grandmother's wisdom, creating a space where her friends could feel empowered to care for themselves and their relationships in the same way she had. It wasn't just about Kegel exercises anymore. It was about cultivating trust, respect, and understanding in their most intimate relationships. The bonds of friendship grew stronger that day, and Ana felt a deep sense of fulfillment in knowing that she had helped her friends in even a small way. Over time, many of her friends began practicing the exercises too, noticing similar positive changes in their own lives. They often thanked Anna for her openness and for starting a conversation that might have otherwise remained untouched. And of course, always gave credit to her grandmother, the source of the wisdom that had touched so many lives. Months later, Anna found herself once again sitting across from Dona Elvira, the familiar comfort of her grandmother's kitchen enveloping her like a warm embrace. This time, as they sipped their coffee, Anna shared with her grandmother the story of how she had passed on the advice to her friends and how it had sparked meaningful conversations among them. Dona Elvira's eyes gleamed with pride as she listened. "You've done well, Anna," she said softly, her voice filled with warmth. "You see, this is how wisdom is passed from one generation to the next. It's not about keeping it to ourselves, but about sharing it with those who need it. You've taken the lessons I've given you and spread them to others. And in doing so, you've created a ripple effect of love, care, and understanding." Anna smiled, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment wash over her. She knew that this was what life was about, learning, growing, and sharing those lessons with others. And in that moment, surrounded by the warmth of her grandmother's love, she felt more connected than ever to the wisdom of the women who had come before her. It was a gift she would continue to cherish, nurture, and pass on for the rest of her life. What began as a simple conversation about an intimate topic soon blossomed into a safe, nurturing space where the women in Anna's group felt empowered to openly discuss their lives, relationships, and personal challenges. Anna felt a deep sense of pride knowing that she had sparked this meaningful dialogue, a dialogue that had created deeper bonds among them. In her heart, she always held close to the wise words of her grandmother, Dona Elvira. Trust and communication are key. It was this wisdom, passed down through generations, that had opened the door for these women to connect on such a profound level. Anna's story, inspired by the lifelong lessons imparted by her grandmother, evolved into a legacy of wisdom, care, and connection. What she had learned in those quiet moments with Dona Elvira had spread beyond the walls of their family, touching the lives of the women in her community. Though Dona Elvira was no longer physically present, her spirit lived on in every heartfelt conversation, in every act of love and care shared between these women. Her teachings had become a thread that wove them all together, a reminder that the strength of their relationships, romantic, familial, and platonic, relied on openness, trust, and communication. The true heart of this story lies in the importance of open and honest communication within relationships, both between couples and within a circle of family and friends. Through sincere and respectful conversations about topics that are often considered too personal or delicate, the characters discover deeper emotional connections, greater understanding, and invaluable personal growth. This value, the courage to be vulnerable and to share intimate experiences and wisdom, highlights how trust and open dialogue can not only strengthen relationships, but also enrich the lives of everyone involved. The legacy Anna carried forward, rooted in her grandmother's teachings, was one of connection and emotional resilience. Each conversation sparked by that initial moment of openness allowed these women to feel seen, heard, and understood, transforming their relationships and their understanding of themselves. It became clear that by fostering open communication and trust, they were creating a foundation for deeper love, greater respect, and lasting friendships. Anna knew that the legacy of her grandmother's wisdom would continue to grow, carried forward by each woman who shared her story and strengthened by the bonds they had built together. As we come to the end of the story, it's clear that open communication and trust play an essential role in building stronger relationships, whether between partners, family, or friends. What have you learned from this story so far? We'd love for you to share one thing that resonated with you and that you will bring into practice in your own life. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you liked this video, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Your support helps us continue sharing stories and wisdom that enrich lives.